Hello, everybody, and welcome to our new Cool Kids live stream. Today, we are going to talk about the newest film in the John Wick cinematic universe, Ballerina, starring one of the sexiest badass women you'll ever meet, Ana De Armas. Oh yeah. Okay, so you all know how everything goes. So without further ado, let's go and get started. By the way, FYI, surprise, surprise, wing a review. I was too lazy to write a review, despite me seeing it before anybody else. So anyway, so Ballerina. When it comes to the John Wick movies, I've really liked and or loved every single one of them. With John Wick 4 still being my favorite. But I would actually acknowledge that even the weakest of the John Wick movies are still really good to me. So there's no such thing as a bad John Wick movie. So when I heard that they were announcing Ballerina, which is in the same universe as John Wick, but it's more of a spinoff than anything, I was actually very excited for this movie. In fact, I would even say it was like in my top 5. Maybe top 4 most anticipated films of 2025. So I was really looking forward to it. And of course, Ana De Armas, she's a great actress. So it got me interested to see how much of a badass she would be. And then I went to go see it Wednesday night with my fellow North Carolinian right down here. We went to a Wednesday night early access screening. And I will tell you this, I had a blast with this movie. This movie was just so much fun. Is it the best of the John Wick movies or any film in the John Wick universe? No, but I can't deny it's still an awesome movie. Ana De Armas, she is great as always. So that's honestly kind of a no duh situation at this point. Even in her worst movie, Blonde. She gives her a game. So, and I hear she just becomes a big badass that I expected her to. The other performances, everyone does a really good job with their role. Unfortunately, I can't really say any names because I was too lazy to look up anybody else's names. Aside from Keanu Reeves, who plays John Wick, and he does awesome as always. The fight scenes were just so much fun. There were so many times where I think I marked that me and my man, we were just like so many oh shit moments, It's like the fight scenes were just so over the top, but also it's just so much fun to watch. They were gory and they were just so over the top that it just put a smile on my face. I especially like the one at the end that involves the flamethrower. The flamethrower war. That was pretty awesome. The cinematography, the music score, they all work well too. I guess if I had any kind of problems, I guess the story is a little bit basic, but then again, it's kind of it's a John Wick movie. It's honestly kind of forgettable. It's like, it is a typical revenge kind of story, but but when it comes to John Wick, it's pretty much, the story is not like a main focus, you came to see some ass kicking. So, and that's exactly what I got. So, it was a bit of I wish there was a little bit more development with them, but that could be forgiven. So, I'm sorry if my review's a little short, but it's like, overall, this movie is just a blast to watch. If you're a fan of the John Wick movies, you'll get a kick out of this. So, and with that, my score is a 8.5 out of 10. So, sorry if the review is short, but it's like, I'm kind of tired right now, and I'm just, All right.
Preach, brother.
That is unacceptable, Rob. It is unacceptable. Be tired.
All right. Ballerina. I would definitely say I'm a huge fan of the John Wick movies. I haven't disliked a single movie. If you watched our favorite movies of 2023, John Wick 4 was on most of our best of the year lists, except John's. And I'd say that was deserved. I mean, John Wick 4 was a fucking excellent action movie, probably my favorite of the franchise. Would have been a great conclusion, but no, we're going to get a fifth one. Sure. Also, John, I completely forgot there was a John Wick show.
Most people did, and they kind of want to forget.
All right, good to know I didn't miss anything. But I was pumped for Ballerina. You know, I love Ana De Armas. The trailers looked badass, and I was expecting a badass action movie out of the John Wick franchise, and the badassery continues. Of course, we're talking about a John Wick universe movie. The action is always going to be top notch. You know, all the action scenes are extremely well shot, well choreographed. You know, the effects are great. You know, the stunt work is fantastic. Some of my favorite ones are like Rob mentioned, the flamethrowers. That scene was fucking dope. And some of the scenes where Eva's training, and she kicks the guy she's wrestling in the balls not once but twice. Yeah, that was awesome. Ana De Armas, she's fantastic as Eve. Angelica Hudson, she was great as the director. Gabriel Byrne, he did an excellent job as the villain. While I wouldn't say he's my favorite. All right, Houston. Oops. Well, I'd say Skarsgård was probably my favorite villain in these movies. Gabriel Byrne is always awesome to see, and also I do need to give a side note. I was another reason I was happy to see Gabriel Byrne in this movie is because he was one of my mom's favorite actors. You know, she loved Gabriel Byrne. I thought he was a great villain, very threatening. Like, this dude is a fucking evil bastard, like, even ordering a hit on his own fucking son. And Norman Reedus, he was great. I think this is probably the last thing we'll see, the last movie we'll probably ever see Lance Reddick in. And, you know, rest in peace. Score is great. I mean, it's Tyler Bates. The dude is awesome. And when it comes to some of my issues, I will agree with Rob. Like, the story was pretty basic. Like, it's just a typical, you know, it's your typical revenge movie. And the other thing is, I don't know. Maybe I might sound kind of weird by saying this, but I don't think John Wick really should have been in this movie. I don't think he really served much of a purpose in the story. Even like the director said, like he didn't want to put him in the movie. And I could tell, like, yes, Keanu Reeves is awesome as John Wick, like he always is. He didn't need to be here, and also his placement doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It says, is this is supposed to take place between like 3 and 4, right? Wouldn't he be like hiding at the time? Oh well. So it was basically just a glorified cameo. While like I said, I do love Keanu Reeves. I love him as John Wick. Shut up, Toby. but I don't know. I don't think he really needed to be here. But overall, I am also weighing this review because I got overworked not too long ago and I am tired. But yeah, Ballerina is another solid entry in the franchise, and I'd say, yeah, give it a watch in theaters, and I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, so now it is my review. Thanks, Hosea. Really appreciate you. So I am also winging it because fuck it. I will say this about Ballerina, or the full title. Guys, we forgot the full title. From the world of John Wick, Ballerina. Gotta, say that part that everyone totally remembers and totally says. But Ballerina, in terms of the quality of the Wickiverse, it is but a consistent one. And even though it is not one of the better ones, I still think it is a rather great film. Um, Now, for me personally, I think for me the best John Wick movies. I don't want to be a contrarian. That's just how it kind of came out. But my favorites are actually the first one and the third one. A lot of people hate the third. Well, I wouldn't say hate the third one, but they don't like it as much. And I don't really understand why. Like, just a lot of people don't seem to like it that much. But I really like it. I thought it was overall a really good movie. Meanwhile, I don't think the fourth one is as amazing as everyone says it is. I think it suffers from pacing issues and structural problems. And despite some unique action sequences, it felt kind of tired at points. Kind of like me throughout the movie because I almost fell asleep a couple times during the movie. But I do think in terms of how I rank the John Wick movies, like quick thing, 1, 3, 4, 2. I think 2 is definitely the weakest. Not a bad movie, just kind of weak. But but moving on to my thoughts about Ballerina, I thought it was a very good film. It's not the greatest thing ever, as many have said. It's a rather typical revenge action thriller. I thought Ana De Armas was excellent as always. I thought Angelica Houston was great. I thought Ian McShane, like all the usual suspects we've seen before. Ian McShane, Lance Reddick, R.I.P. And as well as a bunch of new characters as well. But it's mainly solely on a De Armas, and she did a terrific job here. I also agree with Devin. I think Keanu Reeves was definitely ham-fisted into this movie, and you can definitely tell it was a reshoot because this was, it just felt kind of just poorly inserted into the story. And honestly, it gave us the fight between Ana de Armas and Keanu Reeves was probably the weakest action scene throughout the whole movie, and it was just kind of bland and not all that great. But with Ballerina, I was very cautious about it. I was actually not as excited because at first I kind of was, but then there was a lot of production problems. Most of the movie had to get reshot with Chad Stileski because Len Wiseman is not that great of a director, and it felt like I was like, oh, this is just kind of being made for no reason. And so I was a little bit more cautious, and I heard like a lot of negative test screenings, and the last John Wick spinoff, The Continental, was apparently really bad. So, and mainly because the reason for that, they didn't listen to Keanu Reeves and Chad Stileski. They were like, oh, the creators of this franchise? No, they don't know what they're talking about. We're going to do our own thing. So that's why that failed. But Ballerina, luckily, I went in with rather low expectations and found it to be very good. As people have said, the action sequences are very good. Story is typical. Editing was pretty good. Pacing was okay. I think it could have been a lot better. But the music was great. A lot of the effects, practically like a lot of the stuntmen on fire, that looked really good and realistic. Overall, though, I thought it was great. If I had any major problems, I feel like that some directors have this problem now, and maybe I'm the only person that sees it, but I feel like they have this thing where they take the first act and it feels like most of the movie. Like it feels like most of the movie is like, oh, this is the setup. Now we're going to get into the second act. But then the second act never comes. And then we reach the climax and then the movie ends. Like that's what it felt like. It felt like one giant first act, and then when she actually gets to the town, it feels like the third act, and then the climax, and then it ends. So it felt because Sinners suffered from that as well as Black Panther, ironically the same director. But I just feel like some people are doing this weird structural issue that it just like it feels awkward to me. I don't know if it was because of the production issues and the reshooting, but it just felt very awkward to me. And because of that, the pacing was a little bit off. It was okay, but not great. I felt and I will say towards the end of the movie, it got a bit repetitive. It got a bit tired. Like I feel like everyone's talking about superhero fatigue. I think we're getting John Wick fatigue now, where it's like we're kind of getting the same kinds of action sequences, the same, like, because John Wick changed the game. John Wick changed everything in terms of how to make an action movie. And I feel like now everyone is trying to do their own John Wick. I know Nobody is one that was like considered a John Wick ripoff because it was produced by Chad Stahelski. But even then, that I felt that movie was really good and better than most of the John Wick movies. But it feels like now everyone has to do like the quick, like hand to hand, like how these movies structure and choreograph their action sequences. It feels like everyone is doing it. And now it seems like it's getting a bit tired. And that's what I felt like towards the end of this movie. Same with Fight or Flight, where like it starts off really strong and then it kind of sort of peters out a little bit. So I just wish there was like it remained that strong high, but that could be because like now that this franchise and this style has been around for at least a decade with very little uniqueness to that style and choreography, it just I felt a bit tired by the end of it. So that's why I was really close to giving it a certain score, but then I have to give it like I had to subtract a little bit of it. But overall, I thought it was a very well done movie. Ana de Armas was great. Action sequences were pretty great. The story was okay. It had a good through line. Most of the acting was very good. Editing was pretty good. Pacing was okay, but it just suffered from that structural issue that I have, and that some of the action sequences towards the end got a bit tired. But still, overall, very good. And I will say one more thing before I end my review. I love Keanu Reeves. I'm definitely going to be seeing his Angel movie, Good Fortune, which I saw a preview for before this film. You can definitely tell especially when he was acting opposite Ana de Armas, who is a magnificent actress, and you could tell that you could tell that he's not a very good actor. We love the man. We love the man. He's amazing as a person, as an action star. But between the scenes where like Ana de Armas is putting a lot of like passion and emotion and like all the good hallmarks that an actress or actor is supposed to do, and then it's just Keanu Reeves just like, yeah, okay, I understand. Like, again, I love the man. Please don't think this is me hating Keanu Reeves. It's impossible to hate Keanu Reeves. It's just, that was another thing. I don't knock that towards the movie because Keanu Reeves fits into a perfect mold of a certain thing, and that's okay, but you can kind of tell a little bit. But with that, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. I almost gave it an 8, but because of what I said, I had to subtract it a little bit. But still, very good movie. Sorry if I went a little bit filibuster towards the end.
Yes, you should be sorry. The John Wick universe continues its winning streak with the Lynn Wiseman directed spinoff Ballerina, starring the talented, beautiful Ana De Armas. The story doesn't exactly elicit comparisons with Shakespeare, but let's be real here. The John Wick films have never made a pretense of intricate plots like the other John Wick films. It's a serviceable plot that accomplishes its purpose of deepening the lore and establishing the backstory of the main character, Ana De Armas' Eve, after her father is murdered by members of a mysterious, shadowy organization / cult. Young Eve is apprenticed to the director, played by Angelica Houston, the leader of the Ruska Roma, established in previous John Wick films, the criminal organization, the underworld faction to which John Wick himself belonged. Naturally, through sheer persistence and willpower, she masters both ballet and bullets, becoming a full-fledged member before striking out on her own to seek revenge on the men who murdered her father. Along the way, she runs across the legend himself, John Wick, who pops up here and there to offer sage advice and serve as a reluctant antagonist before moving to a supporting role in her quest for revenge. The pacing isn't bad, but the plot is more than buoyed, if not downright carried, by tons, and I do mean literally tons, and I do mean pretty much literally tons of action. But the setup does take a bit too long, and the reshoots are obvious. As my friend said right here, the film felt like it had a very long first act before skipping to the second act straight to the action-packed finale. But that's not necessarily a bad thing here. Like with Sinners, I feel that it works for this film because, like I said, this film is packed, and I do mean jam-packed with action. If you love action films, you are going to absolutely love this because this is a blast. Did I not say Angelica Houston? I thought I said Angelica Houston. I thought I said anyway. And speaking of which, the action is really what carries this film. They did a really great job giving Ana De Armas her own unique style based on ballet. I saw her in an interview talk about how they tailored it to her style, to her size and her build and everything. I love the fact that talking about how she's smaller, so she has to, overcome that disadvantage. She's always going to have a disadvantage being smaller than the guy she's fighting. So she has to overcome that by cheating, by doing things, by being resourceful. And she's very, very resourceful here. And boy, does she use those legs to choke out guys. So, but she's a very resourceful fighter. You see her get knocked around a lot and actually like that. This girl, like I leaned over to this guy when we were watching the movie and said at one point, this girl's like a Timex because she takes a lick and it keeps on ticking. She really has a real future in action films if she wants to. I don't think she should only do that because she's a very good actress. But it feels a lot like Angelina Jolie, who was also a real natural in action films. But the film is really buoyed by the action here, and it is literally packed from beginning to end with action. It's just like one straight big long action movie. So, and that really carries the film. And plus, she is very charismatic. And Ana De Armas really carries the film a lot on her shoulders, and it is on her shoulders here. I think John Wick was used appropriately here. He's used sparingly. I don't have a problem with him being in the film. I do like that he told her, get out while you still can. You have a choice. And I like that part, and she says, well, what about you? What are you doing? He's like, I'm working on it. So, so we do get to see him, and I did like him showing up there at the end, So he kind of serves almost like a Yoda or Obi-Wan kind of role here, almost as a kind of sort of mentor here. But for her, I do kind of like it. So I think it was used sparingly. So it was clearly still her film. Even when he's in it, it's clearly still her film, and that's why I'm okay with it. So, but I thoroughly enjoyed the film. And my score is a very enthusiastic 8 out of 10. John Wick universe just is consistency be thy name, Jesus. And this was the one that was rightfully worried over because, you know, Keanu Reeves isn't in it. I mean, at least he's not the star, even though Ana De Armas is in it, and she is legit good. But Lynn Wiseman is directing this, not Chad Stahelski. So, you know, but hey, so I don't know if there is John Wick fatigue setting in yet, John, because I mean, this one's supposedly tracking very well. So
I wouldn't say John Wick fatigue.
I'm not saying John Wick as in the franchise. I'm saying how the choreography is. Because I talked with a couple people that were like, yeah, I'm kind of getting sick of this style a little bit. Like they're getting sick of like the style in and of itself, you know? Now, whether you agree or disagree, I don't know, but that's just what I kind of felt a little bit and what I've seen other people talk about in regards to the film. That's what I was mainly saying, not the franchise itself.
Definitely more like the plot and everything. Like, oh,
Yeah.
person gets revenge. Like person wrongs one person. They train to get their revenge. They get their revenge. The end.
Just the action sequences, because you know, like as I said, like John Wick changed the game in terms of how they choreographed action, like this quick mano-y-mano, like hoo ha ha hoo ha ha, like kind of like a mixed martial arts choreographed dance kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's still holding on to that grittiness. But like sometimes it's just like, because then when you watch that, you're like, oh, this is like John Wick. And you're like, oh, that's like, can get a little bit tiring after a while, especially when like almost every action movie is pretty much doing it. Whether it's more obvious, like Nobody and Nobody 2, which don't think this is me shitting on Nobody, because I fucking love Nobody and I cannot fucking wait for Nobody 2. It looks like Bob Odenkirk kicking ass. Fuck
hell yeah.
Give me that.
Down.
Give me more of that.
Yeah, I'm down.
So that, and spoiler alert, we are doing that movie on Cool Kids. But I think I think you might actually, I think Mark might be hosting that one. But I'm just saying that, like, again, this is, I think maybe John Wick choreography fatigue is probably too strong of a term, because I don't hate it. It's just like, oh, okay, like we've seen this before.
I get what you mean, though.
But it's not bad. It's not, I don't want to say it's bad.
No. I get what you're saying.
I hate it, but
yeah, I think I get what you're saying, though, because I think this is what you meant originally. I think you meant it started. It's like maybe the beginning, maybe not even the beginning, but the beginning of people maybe getting just a little bit tired of it.
I think it's like starting to reach that point, because it's just like, oh, okay, we're kind of seeing this, a little bit of that, but like not in like a, oh my god, this fucking sucks, we're getting another Captain America, we're getting another this, that, and the other thing, oh fuck this, I'm not watching. No, we're definitely not at that point, definitely not. So yeah, I just think maybe just a tiny bit sick, but that's about it. But yeah, it's like I still gave it a 7.5. That's still a very positive.
Yeah.
It might not be on my top 15.
I mean, all of us were so positive on this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very
well, and I will say it's fun. It's funny that Devin mentioned that, because I was watching the movie and I'm like, in the middle of the movie, when you notice there's a problem while you're watching a movie, that's the ticker to me. And I'm like, why the fuck is John Wick even here? Like, I feel like with some creative editing, some creative tweaking, you could have just like not had him in the movie. Like, I would say what they should have done is just have that cameo in the beginning, and that's it. He shouldn't have come in later and have a whole action sequence. But they're like, okay, I can kind of understand. Here's the reason why I agree with Mark, why it's not a huge issue. One, as Mark said, it's still Ana De Armas. It's not like John Wick stole the movie or anything like that. Mm-hmm. First off. Second, I think they were kind of sort of trying to play it safe a little bit. This is the first real spinoff of the John Wick franchise. The Continental doesn't even count. It was like shit out on Peacock. Nobody remembers it. Nobody knows of it, and it apparently sucked. I never watched it, but I heard it was really bad. But so it was like a 3-episode miniseries. It took place in like the 70s. It was like a prequel to Ian McShane becoming the manager of the Continental, and it was apparently not very good. But I think they wanted to kind of like, this is the first spinoff. Okay, we're gonna have Keanu in this movie. Let's see how it tests. Let's see if people like it. Let's see if it makes money, and we'll see where it goes. Now, and then we'll take the criticisms of the movie and we'll maybe try to get rid of those with the next spinoff, and we'll double down on all the things that people like. So I think that's why they wanted to kind of play it safe. Let's include John Wick. Let's include him in this movie in case like people are like missing him and want to see him. So like, all right, we'll throw him into the movie and then do that. So I think that's the main reason why they kind of did that. And that's honestly, I don't mind that. I just wish, it just had a little bit more of its own identity. But even then, I'm excited. Like, we're getting like an animated prequel. We're getting a 5th movie. I think we're getting like 2 other fucking spin-offs. So like,
I still would like a video game of John Wick,
I mean, let's see how the new James Bond release is going, because honestly, if that does very well and it looks great, and by the way, it is going to be on Steam, so I don't have to wait 5 years for that to come out onto PC. So yeah. But if because the James Bond First Light video game, that's made by the Hitman people, so like you could tell that's gonna be great. So if you get like the Hitman studio to work on it, then you could get like a really good John Wick movie, John Wick game, because I think that would be really awesome.
That would be cool.
But I know we're getting, I don't know if this is like 100% confirmed, but we're getting a Kane movie, which is going to be directed by Donnie Yen in addition to him starring. So that sounds awesome. We're getting a prequel film, and then I think we might be getting not an animated show, an animated prequel film where it's gonna be about what John Wick did to leave the family, like what he did, like like the whole thing of like what he did made us.
What was the impossible task?
The impossible test. What is? I mean, I would like to keep it up to mystery, but at the same time, with how much they talk about it, like, I kind of want to see that, because that sounds really fucking awesome and badass. And what they'll come up with, what I think would be really creative. So I'm excited for that. And then there's like other, potential projects as well. But yeah, like a lot of people have like talked about like, other potential projects and all that. Like a movie about Lawrence Fishburne, a sequel to this, all that and the other thing. But yeah.
So I have a question. I know that if you were to guess, how do you think this actually will end up doing, like at the box office wise? If you had, the one thing that kind of concerns me is just like all the competition it has. What do you guys think?
I think it'll do just fine. I mean, it's a John Wick film. Those films tend to do well at the box office, and it's trending well from what I understand. So, I mean, I think it's going to do just fine.
What was the budget for that? What was the budget for Ballerina?
80 to 90 million.
80 to 90 million. So it would have to make be about 250 to 300 million, somewhere around there, to be a success, I guess.
Yeah, and we'll have to see what the weekend is after this, because Lilo and Stitch, and
because I was gonna say Lilo and Stitch is still
and to a lesser extent the Final Reckoning are still in theaters, so that
and those two are still making those two movies are still making money.
Yeah, it's expected to earn between 25 and 27 million opening weekend. It's outperforming the original, but falling short of the last re-releases and the original expectation of 30 million. And Lilo and Stitch are 35 million. Lilo and Stitch, that's a kids movie. That's not going to compete with.
Then again, also next week is going to be How to Train Your Dragon. You know that's going to make money.
It's
Yeah.
going to make a shit
So-
ton of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's more likely to take money from Lilo and Stitch than it is from Ballerina.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
And then like
And-
a couple weeks after that, we're gonna be the two things to worry about, I would say personally, are M3gan and then F1, because those I think would take money away from Ballerina, because those are both R-rated
Yeah.
films. And
and Surgeon's
F1 is-
PG-13.
what?
Yeah, man, 3 2.
Oh, is it?
It's PG
That's
13.
another
Yeah.
reason why that fucking movie.
Of course it is.
I mean, it has good word of mouth, you know. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
So I mean, it has good word of mouth. So I think it'll have good legs. So I mean,
Yeah. Maybe I guess you can make the argument maybe 28 years later because that's going to be R rated. So I don't know.
No. And no, we are not reviewing How to Train Your Dragon.
Nope. I still wish we were reviewing F1, but our schedule is clogged this month.
This,
I mean-
this makes up for the lack of content in May.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but I
April.
mean, the summer is starting, so hold on to your butts or whatever the hell. How about them Jets?
How about them Jets? So, but what would you guys say was still your favorite of every film in the John Wick movie? I know you mentioned yours.
Yeah, first one.
That's the fourth one.
4 for me. What about you, Mark?
my favorite.
Yeah, your favorite of the John Wick of any film in the John Wick universe, cinematic universe.
Fourth. I still love the fourth.
I would say it would probably be, including Ballerina, I would say 1, 3, 4, Ballerina, 2. I would say that's probably my.
Okay.
I like them all. Dear God, I just like.
Yeah,
they're all good.
if I were to, I'd have to rank. I'd have to. Think
They're all
about
awesome.
It because they're all awesome. Like that's like saying that a bad John Wick movie exists, not show. So I'm not including the Continental. Saying that there's a bad John Wick movie that exists is kind of like saying that a bad Quentin Tarantino or a bad Wes Anderson film exists. You know.
Yeah. Well, there is a bad Wes Anderson movie. It's called Fantastic Mr. Fox. Yeah, I fucking said it.
Random zone him,
It's not-
please.
Hold
It's
on.
not bad. It's not bad. It's just mid.
Thank you.
It's mid. It's not bad.
Well,
It's just mid. Rushmore, mid. Royal Tenenbaums, okay. Grand Budapest, the only Wes Anderson movie I've liked. I've really
Moonrise
liked.
Kingdom.
Never saw it.
How do you not like Moonrise? I say, yeah, I like Moonrise Kingdom. Moonrise.
I haven't seen Life Aquatic. I haven't
I think
seen
that's
They're
big-
Dealing
that's big.
Unlimited. I haven't seen Moonrise Kingdom, Isle of Dog. The only ones I've seen were Rushmore, Royal Tenenbaums, Grand Budapest, and Fantastic Mr. Fox. Those were the only 4 that I've seen.
You think Fantastic Mr. Fox is mid?
It's mid.
Dear God, what the hell's wrong with you, man? Come on.
Yeah.
Aren't we reviewing the new Wes Anderson movie?
I don't
Yeah,
think so.
yep. We are, but we'll save that for when we'll go into more detail about that when we wrap things up. So
I don't know if we have anything more to say. It's just like
Yeah,
typical revenge action thriller.
if you
Ana
like
De
John Wick,
Armas
if you
is
like the John
great
Wick
and
movies,
hot.
or if you want to see Ana De Armas kick some major ass, then go give this a watch.
I don't know if there's more to say.
Does anybody else have anything to say, or are we just ready to wrap it up?
Give it a watch.
Yeah, give it a watch.
All
Yeah.
right.
Gabriel Byrne is great. I did forget to mention him in my Gabriel Byrne. Always
If you like
great.
John Wick films, you'll like this one too.
Yeah.
absolutely.
I will say, End of Days sucks donkey dicks. Gabriel Byrne as the devil, inspired casting. That dude was fucking great in that fucking movie.
What would you guys say is your favorite Ana De Armas? Your favorite and least favorite Ana De Armas movie?
Blonde is my favorite. I'm just kidding. I never watched it.
Hold on.
I'd probably say
Said I
Knives
never
Out.
fucking watched it. I
Probably my
don't know
favorite.
how good or bad it is.
It's awful.
I was I know.
I would have to look up her filmography.
She's not bad at it though. I mean, she's still good at it, but I mean, she's still her. But
Oh yeah, 'cause she's nude half the time.
I mean, Ana De Armas is good, but the movie is disgusting as hell.
yeah, it is.
My favorite is probably Blade Runner 2049. My least favorite's probably Knives Out.
Yeah, I'd say Knives Out and Blade Runner.
Honestly,
Those are my
like,
favorites.
my favorite is Blade Runner 2049, and I've already mentioned what my least favorite is.
Although I am excited for Eden purely because Sydney Sweeney and Ana De Armas are going to be in the same movie.
She was in No Time to Die. I really love her in No Time to Die.
Oh, she was great.
Yes, I really love her in No Time to Die. Dear God, I love that movie. You know, between that and Blade Runner, for which is the best movie she's been in. Although I really love her in that. Dear God, she was just so unforgettable in that. Because she's so adorable because she's acting like she doesn't know shit, like she's just this newbie. And then she gets in there and she kicks total fucking ass, man. It's like,
honestly,
holy
I
shit.
wanted to see more of her in the movie. Like,
yeah, seriously, yeah.
Okay, I know. Okay, here's the thing: James Bond as a movie and movie franchise, fucking dead as a doornail. Fuck Amazon. Fuck Jeff Bezos. Fuck Amy Pascal. But that's beside the point. So I'm just gonna say, like, if anything happens with that franchise, I will come back only if they give Ana De Armas' character a spinoff. Like, I don't know. It probably wouldn't be good. Probably would be derivative of this. I don't care. Just give that character a spinoff because that was great.
I haven't seen it, so I can't make any comments.
But yeah, No Time to Die was really good. I haven't seen like the worst that she's had to like offer or whatever, but yeah.
Okay. Mark, what would you say was the worst movie she was in?
I mean, you already know that. That's Blonde. The worst is Blonde, clearly.
I thought you would have said Ghosted is worse.
Easily.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody, of course, there's, I'm a farmer, I mean, Jesus
I'm
Christ.
a farmer.
We've run that joke into the ground.
Jesus Christ, that was awful. But I mean, no, Blonde was just absolutely disgusting.
It was
Blonde
disgusting.
was disgusting. Yeah, that was.
Let's make a movie about a real woman. Tell everyone she was a weak-minded person. And then she says, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna let movie producers rape me so I can be in the movie."
That sounds like a ton of fun to watch, he said sarcastically.
Stupid.
That's stupid. Really stupid.
Yeah.
I was originally gonna watch that movie, but after hearing what you said about it, Rob, and you guys know how I feel about movies that glorify rape.
Exactly.
I decided, nah, I'm good. No fucks were given and none were lost.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do we have anything else to say about Ballerina, or are we just going to wrap it up?
I think we should wrap it up.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and
light into the world.
Okay, we'll do that. So, who wants to announce the next movie?
Oh, can I do it?
Go ahead.
Stay tuned tomorrow for our review of Predator, Killer of Killers.
Also known as Predator Cock.
Yeah.
Predator Cock.
Come join us
Well-
for some Predator cock, also known as the Jeffrey Epstein story.
Or Diddy.
Yep, that deserves.
And that's going to be
Thank
hosted.
you.
That's going to be hosted by Austin, but unfortunately,
You
I'm not
deserve a
going to be
slow
able
clap
to.
for that, Mark. Sorry.
Are you done? Are you done?
That deserved a
No.
slow clap, all right?
All right. As I was saying, it's going to be
Ooh.
hosted by Austin. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it for the review tomorrow because I'm going to be going to the beach. So you'll see more of these three assholes. Unfortunately, I won't be there. So, and then next week we got two more reviews next week. John, why don't you take away the first one?
Look it up.
Mike.
So I have it's Life of Chuck. So it was originally supposed to be this week, but it's only in select theaters this week, giving us hope. And then it's like, oh no, it's gonna be everywhere next week. So I decided, since it's probably none of us would be able to watch it in the select theaters thing, because that's probably only available in big cities, so we delayed it to next week. So that's what we're doing. I'm handling one Stephen King adaptation. This motherfucker's handling the other, maybe,
Okay.
possibly. I don't know.
And
Actually, that might be Austin. I don't know.
And then the other one we're doing next week, because yes, you're getting within the next 8 days, you're getting not one, not two, but 3 reviews. He's gonna be hosting the first one, Life of Chuck, which will be on Saturday. And then a week from this coming Sunday, I will be reviewing the next one, which is Wes Anderson's newest film, The Phoenician Scheme. And that's another one that me and my fellow North Carolinian saw early.
Other way.
I did.
No.
Other way.
It's supposed to be like this.
Other
No,
way.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
It's got to be the opposite. Remember?
Fuck it. Fuck it. The guy diagonally for me.
Fuck it. We're doing it live.
Okay.
You
I
got
don't
your
know, whatever.
Thanks
But
for
anyway,
watching, guys.
so
Make
yeah.
sure to like,
So
comment,
tomorrow,
subscribe. Click that
Please
bell
like and
so you know
subscribe.
when we go live.
Okay. Well, stay tuned tomorrow for our next review. Okay. All right. Take it easy, guys. Shit.